Have you been wondering how people make quilts with an embroidery machine? You can always incorporate regular embroidery designs into a quilt block, but you can also do the quilting and piecing with an embroidery machine too. I'm going to give you a brief overview of how that's done in this video, and you can make quilts with any embroidery machine or any hoop size. Although this is definitely a project where bigger hoops are better. Hey folks, I'm Lucy at Ballyhoo Creations, where I design dolls, plushies, and puppets that you can stitch with your embroidery machine or sewing machine. And I've done a lot of stuff in the hoop of my embroidery machine, but I am not a quilter. I have a very short attention span, and I don't do well with long projects that take weeks or months to finish. But I needed to learn more about these techniques for a lecture I'm doing next month to a quilt guild, so I thought I would pass along what I learned. And again, I'm not an expert on quilting in the hoop. I'm just showing you a little overview of what can be done. And if that sounds like something you want to try, I'll give you some resources at the end of the video so you can dig in deeper. From what I've been able to figure out, there are basically 3 different project types that use quilting with your embroidery machine. There are small projects like bags, mug rugs, and other small items where quilting is a part of the design. Here's an example of a large coaster that's quilted. Another example is the wings on my crow design here, where the embroidery machine stitches the feather details on a quilt sandwich of fleece and batting to give this texture on the wings and tails. These smaller projects are often done in a few hoopings, so they're kind of quick to make. The second project type is block by block quilting, also called quilt as you go. This is where you create each quilt block separately in the hoop and then join it with its other block friends later on using a sewing machine. You can do this in a small 4x4 hoop, but an 8x8 inch or larger hoop comes in really handy here. The blocks will usually have a trimmed piece of batting under your fabric, and your machine stitches the design on top of the fabric. And these blocks can have textured quilting or trapunto effects, appliques, or regular embroidery designs. There are also designs that walk you through piecing multiple fabrics in the hoop for a pieced quilt block. So there are a lot of options out there. After all the blocks are embroidered and stitched together, then you add the backing fabric and your quilt binding. Or I've also seen a neat method where she stitched the back to the front, right sides together, and then turned it right side out for a pretty scalloped edged quilt with no binding. I'll link to her video in the description. And then the third type of in the hoop quilting is edge to edge or end to end or even E to E, depending on which designer you're listening to. They're the same thing, but different people call it different names. For this method, the embroidery design is just the quilting stitches, and you'll typically be sewing through the entire quilt, the sandwich of top fabric, batting, and the backing fabric. Your quilt top can be something pieced from many fabrics, or it could just be a solid piece of fabric, maybe a solid color, which is called a whole cloth quilt, or even a large printed panel of fabric, which is often called a cheater quilt. I'm showing my friend Cassandra Beaver's zoo panel here. It's gorgeous. These types of designs start at one end and then they stitch continuously through the whole design until they get to the other side. So there's always the same start and stop point. You have to hoop and re-hoop the quilt many times to fill it with the quilt pattern. And there are methods to make the end of one design match the beginning of the next. Bigger hoops are better for this to reduce the number of hoopings. And it can be tricky to line up the edges perfectly. Those are the 3 main types of quilting projects. The small items like bags, placemats, and other small projects which are not actually quilts, but they have quilted details in them. For larger sized quilted items from placemats to king-size bed quilts, you can do the block by block or the end-to-end methods. You might be wondering, what kind of equipment do you need to do all of this? And the answer is, nothing special. Your embroidery machine and regular hoops can do this, but there are tools out there that make things easier. Some people like the magnetic hoops because it's quicker to hoop thick quilts that way. I used the Snap Hoop Monster on my project over there, and that way I could kind of pull and tug the fabric into alignment on that magnetic hoop. And Dime also sent me this tabletop weightless quilter to show you. It holds the fabric up and out of the way for smaller quilts because all of that heavy fabric can create drag on your hoop. Mine was pulling the hoop downward, so it was good to reduce that load. It comes with 2 of these arms that attach to your tabletop with these clamps, and then you clip your fabric onto these little clampy things, and then it kind of moves around as your fabric is moving it, so it's not rigid. It works for flatbed machines and tubular arm machines. I've tried it with both, and they also have a floor model that works on full-size bed quilts, but I don't have a use for that. I don't embroider or stitch many large projects, so I'm not sure how often I'll be using this for my machine, but maybe it would work for embroidering like a large blanket too. I'll be honest, it's going to make a good holder for photo and video backdrops when I need to hide my messy studio behind my machine. Seriously though, I used it on this sort of quilt project that I'm working on right here, and you might be wondering what all that patchiness was in the background. I'm using a teacup quilt motif on this, and this is just little scraps of fabric that I put onto a backing on the wrong side actually. There's no stabilizer in this. It's just a piece of quilting fabric and then all of these scraps, and I'm tacking them down by using the quilting stitches. By doing this end-to-end quilting with this teacup design, it sews everything together, and my plan is to make a raggedy coat for a large Mad Hatter character that I've been very slowly working on, and that's why I chose the T pattern for the Mad Hatter. If you want to know more about that compound cloth method and how I lined everything up using the end-to-end quilting method, then leave a comment and I can create a separate video about that project. Now I've shared everything I've learned about in-the-hoop quilting, and hopefully that overview gave you enough information so you can decide if this looks like something you want to try or something you'll never want to try. I think maybe I'm in the latter because of my really short attention span, but you never say never. How are you feeling about it? Are you already doing it? Does it look scary? Leave a comment and tell me where you stand on in-the-hoop quilting. I would love to hear what you think. And I promise to share some resources I found where you can learn a lot more about these methods. So, for equipment that makes quilting easier on your embroidery machine, check out Dime. They have the Snap Hoop Monster Magnetic Hoop and the weightless quilter that I used in this video. They also have designs and software that cater to quilters, and you can even create your own custom quilt designs with their software. There are tons of digitizers out there selling quilt blocks or quilting designs for all sizes of embroidery machines. This is only a short list of some of the popular ones. Search the internet and you'll find a lot more, but these caught my eye. Check out Dime, OESD, designs by JuJu, Imilova, that was the cat coaster that you saw in this video. Also Pickle Pie, Kimberbell, Kreative Kiwi, and Hoop Sisters. Those are all some of the popular in-the-hoop quilt designers. Also, OML Embroidery doesn't have a lot on her Etsy shop, but Sue has the cutest sheep applique blocks. If I was going to make a quilt, it would probably be that one. It's so stinking cute. I've looked at hundreds of in-the-hoop quilts while researching this video, and that one was my favorite. And speaking of OML, check out her channel or any of the other brands I mentioned because they all have YouTube channels with videos that go more in depth on how to quilt with your embroidery machine. And sometimes all you need is to know which companies to look at or what terms to search for, and then the rest just takes off from there. Hopefully, I've given you that jumping off point. Do you have a favorite quilt digitizer you want other people to know about? Just share it down in the comment section. And that's the end of this quilty adventure. I'll see you later, folks. You're going too fast. You need to slow down. Wait for the motorcycle.